Go. And hello. Today I am here talking to, for the first time doing this particular role, Jess HY, who is a full-time digital entrepreneur. Not had one of those before. Hello, Jess, welcome.
Hi, Melanie. Welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for giving up your time to talk to us today. I think what you've got to tell us will be very useful and very interesting. Okay, so you are sort of, well, your teaching career was, I'll say bijou. You didn't
Yes.
slog the decades like I did. So to just give us a quick overview of your motivation for becoming a teacher in the first place and your subject and, well, just a little bit about your teaching career.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think I'm a bit of an anomaly. So my teaching career, before I start from the beginning, my teaching career lasted 5.5 years. So my background. So I actually did, when I left school, I did a drama degree, and I absolutely loved it. So I wanted to be an actress, and perform. And I loved the degree, I loved my experience, but soon after becoming qualified in my drama degree, I realised, okay, there's not a lot of jobs out there for actors and what I wanted to do. So I thought, right, what can I do to earn money and to set myself up in a career that was viable, that was going to allow me to have a family, allow me to have a mortgage and things like that. So I then decided to become a teacher. Now, the drama industry with drama teachers, if there's any drama teachers listening to this, they'll know that there's a lot of drama teachers out there, and not as many jobs for that subject. So I quickly realized, I was like, right, if I'm going to be a teacher, I don't think drama is the way forward because there's just not that many jobs to warrant the applicants. So I'm obviously based in Wales. So I actually relearned Welsh, and I became a Welsh teacher. So I went back to uni. I did a PGCE and a Welsh degree in 2 years. And then, yeah, so that was my subject, to become a secondary school teacher, teaching Welsh, but I taught Welsh as a second language. So here in Wales, we've got schools that are Welsh and they speak Welsh first language and all their subjects are in Welsh. I was in an English school, teaching pupils that spoke English their first language, and then they would speak Welsh and do a GCSE in it. So that's what I did. I got my first interview at my first school, and that was the school that I remained in for the 5.5 year period. It was an exceptional school. I loved it. It was it was a tough school, it was a very multicultural, diverse school in Cardiff, and yeah, the context of where the school is located, you had a lot of pupils that did come from quite difficult circumstances and backgrounds, and yeah, it was an incredible experience, and I got to meet a lot of people and a lot of young people that genuinely have influenced me to be the person I am today. So it was very rewarding in that respect. But there was also a lot that I didn't quite enjoy anymore, hence why I did leave. But yeah, that's kind of my journey of how I got into it. And I think I got into teaching to begin with to really make a difference, as cheesy as that sounds. I didn't get into it for the wage and things like that. I genuinely thought, and I feel like I did make a difference to at least some of the children and the pupils that I had access to. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Right, okay. So was there a particular catalyst that made you think, okay, I've done 5 years, can't see me doing this for another 30 or whatever?
Oh, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so was there a catalyst, or was it just a gradual process of you thinking, maybe this isn't the life for me?
I think it was a gradual process. So the first catalyst, I think there was one trigger that kind of began me thinking elsewhere, and then it was just a gradual downhill spiral, I think. So I was very keen when I began in the profession. I was a keen bean. That's what I describe myself as. And I became a head of year. within literally the first 4 months of me being in an NQT. I was part of the governors. I ran Duke of Edinburgh for the school in my first year and continued to do so until I left. So I was one of these teachers that really wanted to make an impact. I wasn't shying from progression. I really wanted to progress. I wanted to become a head of year, perhaps a head of department, perhaps one day at that time a head of school, a headmaster or headmistress. And I was really keen. After that experience of me being a temporary head of year, I loved it. And because of that, I then became a temporary head of year again the following year. And then a permanent position appeared in the school. So I went for it. And I was against one other member of staff. And the other member of staff got that head of year position over me. And like anyone, when you go for an interview, you're going to be a little bit hurt when you don't get it, especially when you really, really did the best interview that you feel you could have. And the guy that got it over me, of course he deserved it. I'm not saying that, but he'd never been a head of year before. So it just, in my head, it just was a little bit of a displacement of, hang on, I'd done a really good job for 2 years. Why didn't I have that position? So that was the first trigger of me going, okay, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this school isn't for me, perhaps. And maybe this career isn't for me. So that was the first trigger. And then, and then COVID hit. And although COVID was a terrible time for a lot of people and a lot of industries, for me, it actually was really good time and an eye-opener to working from home. I loved teaching from home. I had my own little office at home on Microsoft Teams. I was doing live lessons. I was so much more productive. I was able to plan and mark things and get so much stuff done. And I was in my own little routine. I didn't have to commute to work. I didn't have to speak to necessarily colleagues that I didn't really get on with. I didn't have to go into a staff room that sometimes was quite full of strong personalities. I was just alone in my house and I loved it. I wouldn't wish COVID again because obviously it was a terrible time, but I did really like it. And that gave me the eye-opener. That was the second catalyst, I think, of working from home. Then I went back to teaching. I actually went back, reduced my hours part-time. And that was quite weird for people because I went part-time. I don't have kids. And I went part-time just because I wanted a work-life balance. I started selling products online part-time, which warrants the financial ability for me to do that. And then the final catalyst was when I realized, okay, what am I going to do in my next 5 to 10 years? You start thinking of the future with my partner. And I was thinking, I don't think this profession's for me. So then I didn't really want to sell products full time online. That just wasn't viable in my head. So then I came across an academy that has turned out what I'm part of now. And it teaches people how to create multiple income streams online. And last year I was able to quit my job teaching, and now I'm a full-time digital entrepreneur, which is just, it's still crazy. I still have to pinch myself saying it out loud. But yeah, those were my trigger points, I think. I think anyone that leaves the profession, they don't just leave with no reason. I definitely think there's something, whether it's over time or one specific catalyst, it's definitely, there's always a reason, I think.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, people who work in other sectors, like friends you've got, they'll say, oh, I'm looking for a new job because I'm bored.
Yeah.
You never ever hear a teacher say they're looking for a new job because they're bored.
No.
Okay,
it's
so
definitely
let's
not a
dig a
boring
bit.
profession.
No. So let's dig a bit. So
Yeah.
I'd like to, because for some people, a reason that they are reluctant to leave teaching is the financial aspect. And even for some people, going part-time is not necessarily financially viable, although it's amazing how little money you end up being able to be satisfied with when you realise how much better your quality of life is. Anyway, so let's look at this selling products online thing, because I think when I see people, I buy stuff on eBay. I think eBay is amazing, and I buy a lot of new, especially more high quality toiletry stuff on
Yeah.
eBay. And I think, where do these people get this stuff from?
Mm.
So how does one become, or how, yeah, a seller of products online? Please talk us through the nuts and bolts of that, because that's always been something I've wondered about.
Yeah. So obviously that's not what I do now, but that was
Right,
the first, I think that was the first exposure that I had to working online. And basically what it was is I'm part of social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I remember seeing some of my friends just start posting about an opportunity where they could earn. They were sharing an opportunity where you could earn a few £100s a month selling products, and I just thought, you know what, this could suit me. So I actually messaged during COVID at the time, because I just thought, well, this is actually an ideal time. Obviously, I'm working from home, I'm doing my teaching. This would be a good time leading up to the summer for me to kind of trial it. So yeah, it was kind of, I joined a company in the health and wellness industry, and it was very much just selling products in the health and wellness industry. So lots of health products to do with weight management, health supplements, also skincare, things like that, really, things that people are required to buy from the shops, but instead of buying from the shops, they would buy from me and the certain company that I was representing. And yeah, and I just ticked along. It was really, really good. And I don't shun anyone that does it. I think selling products is a great extra income. It's a great way for people who are busy parents, busy mums on maternity to do it. For me, long-term wise, it just wasn't a viable way for me to earn. Although it was a few £100s every single month, which I enjoyed, it was a little bit of a faff. You did have to rely on the products coming in, distributing the products, packaging the products, delivering them, catching up with the customers, saying, have you run out of this? Do you want me to order this? So in that sense, when I broke it down, it was a lot of work behind the scenes that I wasn't getting paid for until you actually sold the products. So although it was brilliant and it was something I could fit around teaching, long-term wise, I don't think it was viable for me anymore. But it is, yeah, it's definitely a great way. And there's lots of companies out there. I don't know if I can name any on this podcast, but there's lots of companies out there. You just need to Google extra income and yeah, just selling products. And there's loads of companies out there that you can just sell products leading up to Christmas, sell products for birthdays, Valentine's Day. So yeah, so it was kind of, and I think that was the first time I had like a bit of a, I don't know, I think it brought out a little bit of an entrepreneur side of me that I never really, I didn't know I was an entrepreneur, if that makes sense,
yeah,
until I
it makes
started.
perfect sense. Yeah,
Do you
I
know what I
know.
mean?
Yeah,
It's only until you start doing something you think, oh, this is actually running my own business. This is a successful business selling products. And then I was going into work teaching 32 kids, being a Welsh teacher again. And then in the evenings, I was like my little entrepreneur. So yeah, it was quite fun, to be fair.
mm,
But that's how I got into it, just social media and seeing other people.
right. So in terms of that, finding customers and stuff, is that on social media that you post about the
Yes.
products and whatever, and then
Yes, so it was
obviously,
very social media based, that business, I think. And social media is great. It is a great tool for businesses. It's a
mm,
great tool for connecting. But yeah, I would say 90% of me selling products was definitely on social media. And that's why I go by the name Jess HY, because in school that obviously wasn't my surname. I was known as Miss and then my surname. Whereas that's why I still go by the name Jess HY, because I think that's the thing with teachers as well, is if anyone watching this wants to do something on the side, it's really important that you cover yourself with social media and that you don't put your surname. I've got quite a unique surname, so I'm easily accessible,
identifiable. Yeah,
and it was important for me to hide that because I didn't want pupils to find me while I was teaching, even though nothing I was doing was illegal and against my contract. It just is that, it's that awkward thing, isn't it, where you don't
yeah,
really want pupils to know too much about what you're doing personal in your
yeah.
life. So yeah, so that's why I actually still go by the name Jess HY.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it very disconcerting once I'd left and set up my business. I have no idea how this happened, but I got an email to my business email, which at that point was a different one to the one I use now and didn't even have
Yeah.
my name in it. It was just my business name. And I got an email from an ex-student saying, were you my teacher? Is this you?
Yeah.
That really, yeah. I
And
thought,
it makes you
oh,
just think. And I think pupils, all of the pupils that, like, I've had a few pupils find me, and it's natural. And I'm actually meeting up with one of my pupils, so she's actually in university now. And
mm,
it was just crazy because she messaged me, and I was just like, oh my goodness, how was your A levels? And she's just started university in Cardiff, and I said, let's meet for a coffee. So it's really nice. But then there's also a lot of pupils that I'm sure. And yeah, any teachers out there know that there is a certain section of those pupils where you do not want them
no, no.
to
It's lovely,
contact
but
you. Sorry, carry on.
oh, something very strange just happened. Oh, that's odd. My screen just went blank. Oh,
Oh, I'm still
um,
here. I'm still
yeah,
here.
you are, yeah. Oh, you know, for a minute there. Yes. Okay, so you moved from the selling products.
Yes.
Tell us now about this academy thing that you've moved on to.
Yeah, so this was really interesting. So once I decided that selling products wasn't going to be viable for me long term, I wanted to kind of look at ways that I could get out of teaching, but doing something that I wanted to enjoy. I didn't want to leave teaching and leave the income that I had for something that was less, or something that was an industry that I still didn't enjoy. It was really important for me to leave a career I no longer enjoyed to do something I do enjoy. I'm not leaving this to do something that I still don't enjoy, because what's the point in leaving
Yeah.
it? And that was really, really important. So I sat down with my partner, and myself and him, one of our mentors in our previous companies that I sold product for, she and her partner joined this academy. So I was just intrigued. So contacted her and I said, what's this academy about? And she said, so it's an online digital platform, and it's an educational platform that teaches people skills within different digital entrepreneurial and spaces. And basically, the academy teaches you that skill. You learn that skill through the incredible education you've got access to. And then from learning that digital skill, you go off and then you duplicate the income that you might already be earning. So it's something that you can do alongside your job. It's something that you can do alongside maternity, or it's something like myself, you can do full time. And yeah, so obviously I class myself as a full-time digital entrepreneur. The skill that I am learning at the moment is how to trade in the Forex market, so how to trade in the foreign exchange market. Now, I joined the academy because the academy teaches me how to do it properly, teaches me the correct risk management. And yeah, and then fast forward 4 months, I quit my teaching job, and I have been doing that full time ever since. And it's down to the academy that I'm now a full time profitable trader. That's what I do day in, day out. When I first looked into trading, I had no idea. It looked really mathematical, all these charts. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but it was the academy that provided the education, literally from the basics, that allowed me to learn. And yeah, fast forward to now, I am really keen in creating multiple income streams. I really want to start investing into Bitcoin and crypto portfolio. I also earn a residual income from the academy. So that's when I share the academy opportunity with people, and through the academy changing their lives, I then get rewarded. Yeah, I also monetize my social media now. So it's very much the academy. It's very much based on teaching people how to create multiple streams of income, whether that's around your full-time job that you're working now and your savings are sat stagnant. Rather than them sat stagnant, start duplicating that savings by learning the skill, Or like me, I do it full time, but it's very much, I've got my trading profits, I've got my residual income, I monetize my social media, obviously, and it's that way of thinking, which is totally different to the way my brain and my mindset was thinking this time last year. It was a very small bubble that I lived in. And it was only until looking at the academy and signing up for the academy, it really broadened my horizons and opened me up to a world that I never knew existed, let alone never imagined myself in that world. And it's one of those that I really do believe, and as cheesy as it sounds, and I know it's easy to say that when you're out of the profession, and I'm not sure if you experience the same, but if you truly aren't happy in teaching or whatever it is you're doing, you have to, for yourself, find a way out, find an opportunity that can really change your situation. And that's what I did. And I'll never look back. I know this is what I'm meant to be doing. And I know I'll never go back to teaching. And I'll forever be grateful for this academy because it's done that for me. So yeah, and what's great as well is I no longer have to rely on anyone else. I don't have to rely on customers. I don't have to rely on a product to sell. All I have to rely on now is my will to learn a skill, my dedication to doing that, and then inputting that skill to make money. And it's been transformational. I know that sounds really cliche and cheesy, but it genuinely has. So yeah.
So some nuts and bolts.
Yes. I
The
went off on a
academy.
tangent then.
No, it's fine. It's all relevant. But I'm very conscious that people watching this will be thinking, but what about this? But what about that? So main thing is when you learn a new skill out in the real world, nobody's going to educate you for free. So what are the cost implications of signing up to this academy?
Yeah, so the academy offers different academies. So I always like to explain it as an entrepreneurial university. So when you sign up to university, obviously you're signing up to the education, and the university has lots of different umbrellas, and each umbrella is a course, whether that's business studies, psychology, law. And that's what I like to explain the academy as. It's a digital entrepreneurship, a digital university, and each umbrella is an academy. Now there is a sign-up cost, and the academy works monthly. Each academy varies on the different price. Once you sign up, there is a way to get the membership completely for free, and that is simply sharing the opportunity with 2 people. And then once you share the opportunity with 2 people and they sign up, they start changing their lives as well. And after that sign-up fee, you no longer have to pay the monthly membership. Now, lots of people I speak to that are interested, and lots of listeners watching this might be interested. My advice would be A, to get in touch with myself so I can explain it in more detail. But
So
B,
we will put the details for how to do that, how to get in touch with you in the notes underneath the video on YouTube.
Fantastic. No, brilliant. That's that's brilliant. So yeah, like Melanie said, if you are interested, just go to the details. And my name on my screen, I think, is my Instagram handle. So just message that. But and so that's A, get in touch with me. B would be to change your mindset, because what tends to happen is in society, especially in Britain, we're kind of cloned to think narrowly and narrow-mindedly about our lives, that we should only have one career, and we should only have one job. We should work so hard until we get to our pension. Now, that's all well said and good, but in my personal experience, my dad sadly passed away when he was 54. He didn't make his retirement. So in my head, I'm thinking, yes, my pension is really important. Of course it is. What if I don't make it? You need to open your mind, and you need to open your mind in financially. So lots of people I have conversations with about the monthly membership, they think, oh no, I can't warrant it. Well, you're actually getting thousands and thousands of pounds worth of education for literally £100, or roughly. And you can get that membership completely for free. Plus, you need to look at it as your Sky membership or your Netflix or your gym membership. But instead, this membership is going to change your life. You're investing in yourself rather than investing in some sort of commodity that's just what for you to watch TV or your internet subscription. This is different. And I think once that mindset changes in people and it clicks, that's when they see, okay, this is actually a commitment that is going to change my life rather than just a namby-pamby opportunity. And that's the people that ultimately the academy suits, is the people that are going to dedicate their time to it. And it's not easy. It wasn't easy for me to quit my teaching job. I'm not here to say, oh yeah, it's easy. It isn't. But is it worth it? Like, hands down. It's opened my eyes. And what's crazy is obviously I've got out of teaching, but my aim in the next 6 months to a year is actually to get my partner out of his 9 to 5 as well, which is just really, really exciting. And without this academy, we definitely would not be having conversations, and that would not be his goal. So that's what I would say. Just get in contact with me, but it is monthly. But like I said, you can get that for free as well.
And something else you said that I find interesting and that has also puzzled me. How does one monetize one's social media?
Oh, so like I said, this is something that I'm still learning. So I'm very present on social media, but with our academy, so the Social Media Academy, it teaches you how to monetize your social media. So what that means is social media is a whirlwind. It's a world that lots of people take advantage of and lots of people don't. And if you're not taking advantage of social media, you're missing out. Even with a small following, you don't have to have a substantial amount of following, you can still monetize it. So what that means is you can apply to companies even without a huge following. You can apply to companies can then send you free experiences, whether that's staying in a hotel, whether that's a launch of a new restaurant, and they will give you some free tickets to that. They will also give you money to promote a certain product if that's what you want. And that's how, and also you can monetize your social media by creating a brand for yourself, for your business. Lots of people who run businesses don't actually know how to create a brand themselves or know how to work the algorithm of Instagram and Facebook. Once you know how to work that algorithm, and that's what the Social Media Academy teaches, it really can transform someone's business, because you know the types of posts that work, you know the types of ads that work and are generating a higher audience for your product or your service. Whereas before you might have just been doing generic things without actually analyzing the data. So that's how it's a different world, but it's it's definitely a powerful world that if you run a business, you should definitely be making the most of, I think.
Yeah, right. Okay. And so would you say that with these income streams you've got going on, are you replacing your teaching salary?
Yes.
How soon did that happen?
So that was quite, not a big concern, but that was an aim of mine. So once I joined the academy, obviously I learned how to trade. I started learning how to trade through a demo account, only because that's what the academy advises. When you're learning a skill, you're going to make mistakes, and part of trading is you do lose. That's the whole point of being with the academy. It teaches you the correct risk management. So I started making money realistically in, I think, when I joined the academy, I didn't really know what I was doing at that time. And I probably started making money month 4. And probably people out there are probably thinking, right, why did you quit teaching then? So I quit teaching because I saw an opportunity that was going to change my life. And that's what I wanted to do. Lots of people in the team do the academy alongside their profession. So when I quit my teaching job, I went all in. And I replaced my teaching wage so I started being a profitable trader month 4. And then I replaced my teaching wage month 6 in my trading pot. Now, do I withdraw my teaching wage every single month? No, I only withdraw what I need because I'm very minimalistic now. That's something else that's changed with the way my mindset is. I'm all for creating multiple income streams, but my expenditure is less because I work hard for my money. I don't want to spend it on frivolous things anymore. I'd rather invest it. So yeah, so that's, and then ever since then, my pot has just been growing bigger and bigger, and I'm currently going for a funded trading account, and that's basically where you pass test and you trade with a prop firm's money. You keep 80%, they take 20, but that way you're trading with a substantially bigger pot of money because the prop firm are giving it to you, and then obviously you can leverage more. So it's a great way long term with trading to be able to make more money, a substantial amount more every single month. And that's that's my aim now. So yeah, it's definitely viable, but it's something that I had to commit to. It's not easy, but it's so worth it. And yeah, I'm now earning more than my teaching salary within less than a year. So it was definitely definitely worth it.
I just had no idea that this was a
I
thing.
know. No, I know, and neither did I. This time last year, I had no idea, and it's only when you take a look. And that's the thing, anyone watching this, my advice would be, even if you're just intrigued, if it's not for you, that's fine. Even if you're just intrigued, it's really worth taking a look because it's a different world. It's really a different world out there. And I think it's actually a world that deliberately society doesn't want you to take a look at sometimes. But once you take a look, it's life-changing. So yeah.
Right. I think we are running out of time. Zoom's going to kick us off in 5 minutes. So I'm going to say that really, I'm speechless. I've got all this going on in my head now.
I hope I haven't bombarded the call.
No, advice to people watching this. I think you might need to watch it twice and make notes. If this interests you, watch it twice and take notes. So, God, thank you so much, Jess. Absolutely.
Thank you for having me. I really, really appreciate it, Melanie.
Food for thought. Okay.